My name is Seking and I am an actress in the entertainment industry. I once trended on social media for my good acting skills and was called the heaven sent female lead. All of this is thanks not only to my ex-husband, Sun Chen, a movie star, but also to my own hard work. 4 years ago, Sun Chen became a rising movie star with the film Snow. We were each other as first love in college. He debuted first and became an instant hit with his very first work. Later, his manager advised us to break up temporarily, saying, "You need to market the ideal boyfriend image during this career growth period." I knew being an actor was his dream, so I reluctantly agreed, but his quick acceptance made me sad. After the breakup, I ate irregularly and lost a lot of weight. Then a manager discovered me and helped me debut in a supporting role. When I had no work, I wrote a novel about Sun Chen and me. Unexpectedly, the novel became a huge hit and was even adapted into a TV drama. I used the excuse of not wanting to be in the public eye to participate in revising the script while covering myself up completely. I also recommended myself for the female lead role. After the director agreed, my manager told me I'd been selected. I pretended to be surprised and said I would work hard. What's more, the male lead was confirmed to be Sun Chen. We were basically the original cast acting as ourselves. While studying the script, I ran into Sun Chen in the hallway. He was still wearing the couple-esque outfit we had in college. I joked about him wearing the same clothes for so long, and he asked if I'd kept my peace. I deliberately said I used it as a pillowcase. The atmosphere in the room was awkward, and we called each other teacher. Seeing this, the director told us to exchange contact information. Sun Chen was the first to hold out his QR code, and I secretly cursed him for being smug about his little win. When discussing the script, Sun Chen asked me how to act out the reunion scene after the breakup, and whether the male lead still had feelings for the female lead. When I looked into his eyes, I almost cried. I then asked him if he thought the ending should be T or B. He didn't hesitate to say T. The director mistakenly thought we were getting into character quickly, but only we understood the real emotions behind it. The filming went smoothly and the early promotion was well done. When the drama aired, it became a hit. I was praised as the heaven-sent female lead, and netizens even shipped the Chen Chen King couple a portmanteau of our names. Since the drama had a B ending, netizens begged for us to collaborate again, and some even hoped we would get married. Sun Chen sent me 15 screenshots of Weibo posts and a voice message, saying everyone felt sorry for us. I joked with him, asking for 500 yuan using Vivo 500 as a playful way to say give me 500 分. After he transferred the money, I finally said I also felt sorry for us and hoped we could be honest with each other next time. But then I deliberately changed the subject. Soon after, Sun Chen and I were invited to a lifestyle variety show called Reunion Again. The other guests included Ye Bei'er, a popular young actress, Zhu Manfai, a handsome and gentle actor, Yu Jin, a rising female actress, and Lu Yuqian, a singer-songwriter. The show featured 3 men and 3 women living together in a village for 12 days, and it was broadcast live. On the first day of filming, I arrived at the village early. Sun Chen took the initiative to help me carry my luggage and called me Chi Shi, my character's name in the drama. I called him Huo Zhou, his character's name too. This scene made the live chat explode with comments shipping our couple. The farmhouse we stayed in was very down to earth. I wanted to run around in a grass skirt, but Sun Chen reminded me there were cameras and told me to go crazy at night instead. After tidying up, I collapsed onto the sofa, zoning out. Sun Chen explained to the camera that this was just how I relaxed, and even predicted I would want water in a few minutes. Sure enough, he was right, and the live chat was flooded with comments like he knows her so well. They must have dated before. The other guests arrived one after another. I couldn't take my eyes off Zhu Manfai because he was so handsome, and I didn't notice Sun Chen watching me from not far away. When Ye Bei'er saw Sun Chen, she brought up the dress they used in their collaborated drama Coniferous Leaves. hinting that Sunchen remembered it. Fans of the Ye-san couple in the live chat got excited. I noticed Eugene and Lu Yuqian were feeling awkward, so I took the initiative to talk to them. I found out they were fans of my drama, and this helped ease their awkwardness. When the show officially started, the director asked everyone to choose a guest to form a couple. Yi Bei-er chose first and surprisingly, she picked Sam Chen. Sam Chen's face turned dark instantly. Eugene, Lu Yuqian, and I all thought she was being thoughtless. I also noticed Zhu Menfei had a blank expression. Eugene said he looked heartbroken. Not the kind to make a scene. When it was my turn to choose, I picked Zhu Menfei and joked that I hoped we did get a script to collaborate on later. Zhu Menfei looked at me with admiration, but Sam Chen suddenly left a sign I knew meant he was extremely angry. In the end, Eugene and Lu Yuqian formed the Shu and Yu couple, a play on their names. Eugene spoke humbly, which won her a lot of public favor. I could tell Yi Bei-er wanted to boost her popularity by shipping a couple with someone, but she chose Sam Chen instead of Zhu Menfei, totally going against expectations. What's more, her previous high-quality mature lady persona was a huge contrast to her current behavior. During the musical chess game in the daytime, Yi Bei-er deliberately pushed me. My leg hit the corner of a chair and turned blue. I secretly tripped her back. When everyone walked forward, Sam Chen slowed down to wait for me and asked if my leg still hurt. I acted tough and said no. He smiled and said, "You never let yourself take a loss." I swung my fist at the air, but then realized we were still filming. My face turned red, and Sam Chen laughed even harder. At dinner, the director asked each couple to cook 2 dishes together. Yi Bei-er asked Sam Chen what to make, and he said coldly, "We can eat the northwest wind," a sarcastic way to say we have nothing to eat. I asked Zhu Menfei if he could cook. He said he couldn't but offered to help. We decided to make sweet and sour pork ribs and garlic chrysanthemum greens. In the kitchen, Zhu Menfei thoughtfully made space for me. Yi Bei-er wasn't wearing an apron, so hot oil splashed on her. Sam Chen told her to leave, but she mistakenly thought he was being nice to her and blushed. Zhu Menfei quietly clicked his tongue, and I even imagined him being jealous. But before I could think more, I realized the garlic chrysanthemum greens had burned. I hurried to fix it. When making the sweet and sour pork ribs, I forgot the steps, so I had to ask Sam Chen. He turned off his stove and came over to help. As I watched him add rock sugar, I remembered the time he taught me to make this dish before. I never got to learn it properly because we broke up soon after, and the ribs I made back then tasted terrible. Thinking about this, my eyes turned red. I lied and said the smoke was making my eyes water. When netizens in the live chat heard Sam Chen say, "You still can't remember the steps?" After all these years, they flooded the chat with comments like "The Chen King couple is winning big." Zhu Menfei stayed outside playing on his phone the whole time, with a variety of expressions on his face. He even stopped Yi Bei-er when she tried to enter the kitchen. I silently praised him for that. In the end, everyone agreed that the sweet and sour pork ribs Zhu Menfei and I made were the best. I felt a little embarrassed because Sam Chen had actually helped a lot. That night, I scrolled through Weibo and saw that all of us were on the trending topics. The most discussed one was Yi Bei-er didn't choose Zhu Menfei. It made my head spin. I couldn't sleep, so I put on a shawl and went outside. I found Sam Chen smoking by a pillar. He put out his cigarette and asked if I was cold. Then he said, King, let us get rid of our misunderstandings so we can both sleep well tonight." Sam Chen finally told me the truth. For 5 years, he did worked like crazy to make money, just so he could terminate his contract with the company. It wasn't until 4 years ago that he did saved enough to pay the penalty. On the day we broke up, his manager had taken his phone away and forced him to give up the password. The manager had texted me to break up using his phone. Later, the manager gave him a new phone and a new number. He was afraid the company would trouble me, so he could only wait until he was stable enough to find me again. I listened, tears streaming down my face. I asked him why he hadn't looked for me. We could have faced it together. Sang Chen wiped my tears, said he'd been selfish, and apologized to me. I leaned into his arms, and that night, I slept better than I had in a long time. After that, Sang Chen and I had a subtle relationship. We didn't talk about getting back together, but we acted like we already had. I value rituals, so I made a deal with him. After the show ended, we did go on a trip together. I wanted to hug him tightly and start over. Early the next morning, Fu Minfei and Zhang Le arrived as guest stars. I did sing Fu Minfei in a costume drama before, and I did collaborated with Zhang Le on a drama he was low-key and never put on airs. Zhu Menfei got very excited when he saw Zhang Le, and Zhang Le even pushed him into Fu Minfei's arms. I noticed Zhu Menfei's ears turned red and Fu Minfei smiled proudly. Sang Chen saw my confusion and said he'd tell me the gossip only if I kissed him. I ignored him and walked away, and he had no choice but to follow me. Zhang Le suggested the three of us hug. Before I could react, Sang Chen put his arms around me and Zhang Le, pulling us into a hug. Later, everyone stood in a line. The director asked Fu Minfei and Zhang Le to introduce their collaborated drama. Zhang Le said the drama was already available on various platforms, and their couple name was Zhangmin CP, which had a nice meaning. The director arranged for everyone to plant seeds. After digging for a while, my back started to ache. Zhu Menfei came over to chat with me and complained about Yi Bear being fussy on set. She did complain if it was too hot or too cold. She used stunt doubles for fight scenes and wire work, and her lines sounded like a kid reciting a textbook. I asked him if Yi Bear was the only woman he'd ever interacted with. He said Zhang Le counted, and now I did too. He also said he usually hung out with Fu Minfei, even slept together and kissed. I was shocked and covered his mouth. I was even more surprised when I found out he was the passive one in their relationship after all. He was a 184厘米 muscular guy who looked like a domineering CEO. When Fu Minfei and Zhang Le walked over, Zhu Menfei immediately ran over to hug Fu Minfei. Zhang Le told me that back then, Sang Chen had asked him to take care of me on set but had told him not to help me secretly, saying he believed I could make it on my own. Zhang Le also said he'd come to be a love bodyguard for Sang Chen and me. It got hotter and hotter. Yi Bear complained about being tired and wanted to stop working, saying variety shows are just faking it. Anyway, the director tried to persuade her to keep going, but she got even more arrogant and told everyone to stop, but no one paid her any attention. I said to Sang Chen, the silent treatment is really scary. I joked that I used to give him the silent treatment all the time, and I wouldn't change that. I did just try to alternate between hot and cold. That night, I scrolled through Weibo and saw Yi Bear post, I am destined to be lonely, aren't I? With a photo of the starry sky. I was about to complain when Sang Chen, Zhang Le, Zhu Menfei, and Fu Minfei came to find me. Zhu Menfei ranted about Yi Bear's bad personality, and Fu Minfei also said she wasn't doing the right thing. I finally understood why Zhu Menfei had been playing on his phone in the kitchen. Earlier he'd been complaining about Yi Bear to Fu Minfei. Soon after, Yi Bear deleted the post. Not long after that, the trending topic Yi Bear deleted her post in seconds, suspected of being excluded on reunion again popped up. Eugene and Lu Yuqian came back from their work and told us we were on the trending topics. After discussing it, we decided to stay silent. The show's team posted a video of us playing around together to clear up the rumors. Yi Bear liked the video and replied to netizens saying she was fine, but this only made the trending topic blow up more. Zhu Menfei was almost furious. Luckily, after a couple of days, the topic died down because we didn't respond to it. On the last day of the show, the director's team prepared hot pot and collected questions from netizens for everyone to answer. First question, have Bear and Sang Chen read fanfics about themselves? Yi Bear said yes, and that netizens even tagged her in them. Sang Chen said he usually read the original works instead. Second question, why is Menfei always with Minfei? Zhu Menfei said because we read on the same wavelengths. Fu Minfei joked that he Didn't he dare to imagine how many couple videos of them would pop up after that night? I also remembered their couple name was Bai Yushu and Fei Yi, meaning flying side by side like a pair of birds. Third question. What has been Lala's biggest joy these days? Zhang La answered in a second, shipping couples. Everyone who got the joke laughed. Fourth question. Is the Shu and Yu couple real? Lu Yuqian directly held Eugene's face and kissed her, saying, yes, we are. I could only clap in front of the camera, but I was so excited inside I wanted to jump up. Fifth question. King. You only played one role but were called the heaven-sent female lead by netizens. Why did you portray the character so perfectly? I confessed, I wrote the book, and it is all adapted from my real experiences. Yi Beier immediately asked if the male lead in the book was someone outside the industry or inside. San Chen answered first, inside the industry, and added that the male lead was himself. He acted as his real self. Later, I asked San Chen how he knew the male lead was him. He said he was my top fan on the platform, Zhang La was the second top fan, and Zhu Menfei and Fu Mingfei were the third top couple fans. Zhang La even said he'd seen me writing the book and had even written fanfics about San Chen and me. I was shocked to find out Zhang La was also a famous fanfic writer in the fan community. After the show ended, everyone went back to their own work. Yi Beier joined another variety show, but since she wasn't a big star, no one put up with her. Her persona collapsed, and the Weibo post she deleted earlier was also dug up. The rest of us were finally cleared of any suspicion. I still occasionally come across live broadcast clips of the final dinner party. Most netizens support my relationship with San Chen. San Chen and I went on the trip we agreed on. We chose a place on the edge of Zishi, a place we always wanted to go but never had the chance to visit. The mountains there are green and the water is clear, far from the fast pace of the city, and it made me feel extremely relaxed. San Chen fished by the lake while I fell asleep in a hammock. When I woke up, San Chen said, there is one sun in the sky, and another sun right beside me. He added that our current ending was different from the B ending in my book. He never thought he'd get a happy ending with me. Suddenly, San Chen took out 2 rings and said, let us get back together. He explained that he knew I liked rituals, so he wouldn't just say it casually. He knew I was scared of marriage, so he'd wait until I was ready to propose. And he knew I didn't like crowds, so it was just the 2 of us there. I was moved and agreed to get back together with him. I put on the ring and asked if he wanted to get married. He smiled and said, it all depends on whether my wife will honor me with her answer. I blushed and chased after him to hit him. Among the mountains and rivers, we were happier than the characters in my book. In fact, he was my son too.